I get this, honey. The bugs in the White House aren't actually roaches at all. They're termites. Where did they come from? From Tony's terrarium? That's where. The only thing worse than termites is creepy old Camp David. So I'm going to stay at one of our hotels until this whole thing blows over. The press has already decided we're fighting or something. But they can go suck an egg. A termite egg. Bill Graham, this is American TV channel director. We're ready to release our big interview, Mr. President. While going over the footage, our editor noticed that every time you talk about inequality, you look to the side and wring your hands. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, but some armchair psychologists might decide you're lying when you promise to close the income gap between the rich and the poor. Should we cut a couple of those parts out to make it less obvious? Sure. Alexander Tkachenko. Is it Tkachenko? I don't know. This is like Crusader Kings all over again. There's so many names I don't know how to pronounce. Ukraine's ambassador to the United States. Mr. President, our scouts report that the Russians are building up a military contingent along our... Oh, this is actually happening right now. I think a small show of support from you would help keep them from revving up their tanks and other such foolishness. Just send us about 20 experienced soldiers. They can make a show of training with our troops and demonstrate that our armies are allies. I'm sure Ukraine will not be the only nation that rejoices to see you doing your duty to the international community. Will you send us the men? No, I feel like that gets us into trouble all the time. Berta, Mr. President, my boy was not quite well. God gave him a talent for writing, but took away part of his mind in return. What if you think my boy can be useful to you like this? Well, I'll entrust Troy to you. Nice. Okay. That worked out well. We got Troy too. And actually, looking at our pay, Joe is making 832,000. So I might, because now I've got Alta, Joe, Sophie, and Troy that do kind of similar things. Let me just look at Troy. Writing tell-all articles, conducting journalistic investigations, searching for information, trolling on the internet. Writing articles, deception, speaking with journalists, public attacks. Except the deception part. I could fire Joe, though. Also, I should look at my administration, see if Troy's good at anything. Your rating losses after events are reduced by a third. Your rating gains after events are reduced by a third. Okay. Your rating gains after events are reduced by a third. Team members are paid 60% more. Rating losses after events are reduced by a third. You lose 50,000 at the end of every month. Okay. 25% less. Team members are paid 25% less. But team members' actions increase stress points by 1. Send your subordinates on regular assignments to spread propaganda. Huh. Okay. I still don't know how I'm going to intimidate this guy. Maybe we'll wait one more month. Should I get the actor? I kind of want to really keep this for a super like oh shit moment, you know, like we're struggling, we've got no money, we need it. I think that's what I want to use this for, not for something that's going to give me more monthly income, right? Okay, I've got a lot of people with very low stress, so I should probably... Oh, I'm at 74.9%. I should probably try to do... I should use them to do stuff. Someone who looks menacing and can deliver a mean, strong hook to the chin. I still don't have someone like that. Maybe we'll get someone next time. Oh. Bill Graham. Mr. President, we cut most of the times you looked aside. Ah, well, there goes my 74.9. Looked aside while talking about inequality out of the interview. Out of the entire interview, you now talk about it for about a minute and 48 seconds. The press decided you were intentionally dodging the subject and also that you were lying right to people's faces. There's no pleasing these people. Alexander Kachenko says, have you seen the front page of today's Just DC, Mr. President? America abandons Ukraine to a Russian rampage. It's amazing how precisely they've predicted the consequences of your failure to uphold your international obligations. I feel like that's the one I don't really have a good grasp on. We have to send like troops to help. I keep screwing those up. The vanishing president. Let's try this. Where the hell is Feist? Feist. Buddy! Feist and I were never buddies, but we used to go to the same poker club. So if he's somewhere in Mexico with no pants and no memory of what happened after he scored that bag of pure, we ought to help him out. Besides, the first lady told me to look into it. What if dude decided to switch sides again? From the right side back to the rotten establishment. We don't know anything yet, so I suggest we cover both the brains and the brawn. Then you can't go wrong. I don't have any brawn. I desperately need some tough guys. Same with limiting the drug trafficking, right? A skilled technician and a couple of tough guys. And then we've got covert extraction. Act with great care and discretion. No one must ever learn about Dean or our arrangement. I feel like once again we need someone physical. But maybe we could do like some behind the scenes negotiations. Let's send Tien. Elite connections. Tien already had that, I think. Hacking. Let's try Ollie. Since you've decided to help, Mr. President, allow me to share all I have about the traitors, to who have been messing with my son's mind. All I have about the traitors who have been messing with my son's mind. They call themselves the Freedom Commune. Freedom from the usual things, common decency and taxes. They seized the land, set up shacks, planted tomatoes. Tomatoes are delicious. It sings songs to them all day long. Oh, they sing to the tomatoes. That makes them grow bigger and juicier. Local authorities don't think there's a problem. Rabble aren't claiming unemployment benefits. So there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it. But what they don't know is that while they're pretending to do nothing, the camp is using terrorist methods for brainwashing. Think about it. Morning meditation, speakers at lunchtime, one-on-one meetings with the mentor in the evenings. They teach pacifism, social creativity, escaping the economy, a whole menu of anti-state propaganda. Dean is almost never left alone and has surely been zombified by the ideas of peace and love they're flooding him with, sorry. I'm sure he won't want to leave willingly. I saw the same thing in Iraq. Even experienced soldiers, strong men, even they broke after being brainwashed 24 hours a day. And my son is just a weakling like his mother. So remember to be careful when you're smuggling him back. These are the wrong people for this. I'll figure out how to straighten Dean out once we get him back home. Join the commune and convince Dean to go back to Washington. Ask the kid from your computer class to dress up like scouts and get Dean out of the camp. Add the commune's members to the FBI terrorist database. All right, Tien, it's your time to shine, buddy. Mr. President, I respect the ideas these extraordinary people have about peace, freedom, and harmony with nature, but accepting their ways of life has been extremely difficult for me. Perhaps that is why my diplomatic skills proved utterly useless this time. The young man was clearly here of his own free will, and I saw no signs of brainwashing. Dean asked me to tell you that he was tired of the dirty business his father kept dragging him into. Just wants to live, grow tomatoes, and meditate on a stump for the rest of his life. Would you like to try something else, Mr. President? I don't think that's going to add the commune's members to the FBI terrorist database. Chief, the faces of these particular dangerous hippies now appear in the FBI database between known criminals Saeed Al-Ramon and the Silent Killer. I had to use my imagination to come up with some atrocities for them. Body odor and unwashed hair don't count. The FBI raided the commune, grabbed the supposed terrorists, and frightened all the nearby wildlife. That would have been the end of it, but there were shock news reporters there filming the whole operation. Every front page in the country is going to have a photograph of our congressman wearing nothing but his cannabis t-shirt. But we brought him home, right, Chief? Mr. President, I told you to be careful. My reputation has been ruined thanks to you. Oh no! Ah! Members of the Freedom Commune in a wooded camp in Northwest Washington seem to have accidentally ingested a poison together. 5 were rushed to the hospital in critical condition. According to preliminary reports, the cause was a poisonous forest plant in the soup. What a terrible place this country has become under the current president. If people are being forced into the forest to seek sustenance and die, have we lost all civilization? God. I really want to brag to my parents that you and I are friends, Chief. Would you mind? Okay. Go. You can brag. Go for it. Phil Birkin, the FBI director. The protests in St. Louis are going from bad to worse, sir. The police have been accused of racism. During a raid on an underground club, they beat and arrested 20 black people, but not a single white person. Local authorities say everything's under control, but the burning cars and overcrowded prisons say otherwise. It all reminds me of what happened in Chicago last year. Our agents need to be able to react in a timely way without waiting for the governor's approval. Could you draft an executive order allowing us to put a stop to the riots in St. Louis? If I remember correctly, and once again, this isn't what I would choose, but we're choosing, all we care about is money, approval rating, and passing that bill. And if I remember correctly, not like siding with the people in the riots usually gets us approval rating. So no. Rudy Wolfowitz, Secretary of Defense. My drill sergeant back at boot camp used to say that a soldier needs 2 things, an extra pair of boots and some sack time every now and then. I just got back from Beirut, and it's pretty clear our boys there are in a bad need of the latter. All those explosions and machine gun blasts really take a toll on you. That's war for you. You're better off averting PTSD now than dealing with the freakout later. Our shrinks are suggesting some kind of rehab, but that'll take too long. And who even knows if it'll work? So we decided to help our soldiers relax the modern way by putting a little cannabis in their rations, since it's legal now. Will you approve this project, sir? Yeah, hell yeah. Mr. President, my heart was feeling really messed up, so I had to get an appointment with a real doctor. They told me I'm suffering from neurasthenia. It may sound scary, but it's a completely curable condition. They prescribed me rest and a course of outrageously expensive Japanese multivitamins. I've already started taking the pills and put in my vacation request to the office secretary. Yeah. Okay, this month was not great, I dare say. We could have wrapped up our bill. Let's have them rest. I think I'm gonna skip on get the actor. Okay. 3 mil. I'm sorry, sir, but Donovan Ryback just signed up for a cowboy-themed TV show that should keep him busy for the next 5 years. Whatever. We can always get someone younger and also cheaper. Stayed about even on approval rating, so that's not bad. Big drop in cash. Stress is good, though. September 2022. So we're at 4 million now. All right. I barely made it out of that wedding alive, buddy. It wasn't just the bride and groom. Their parents, the guests, everybody was to stop as witnesses. They were so happy. They almost ripped me apart like the fella from the Ghost movie. You can see the pic for yourself in Sands. They managed to yank my jacket off, but I hid the check in a secret pocket in my shirt. What are you going to spend your cut on? That was worth it. We put some pot in the soldiers' rations to help them relax a little. Everything was going okay, but after lunch, one guy started thinking he was in a POW camp. Fortunately, he wasn't armed at the time, but he managed to do some damage with a fork. Holy shit. The press caught wind of the incident, and now we've got a scandal on our hands. They say we're turning our soldiers into potheads with a death wish. We tried to explain that we just put medical CBD in their chow, but they wouldn't listen. I mean, the stuff doesn't even get you high. Hey, that's good though. Phil Birkin, the FBI director, says, the governor had already settled everything by issuing an apology and releasing the people who had been arrested, sir. It's just slapping a bandage on a festering wound, but at least it's a step in the right direction. The governor of Missouri held a press conference and proudly announced that the state can solve its own problems without any last-minute executive orders or interference from the feds. She also thanked you for your restraint. Pay raise? Okay. You better not disappoint me, Tien. That's good. Level 2 reached. 4 million to get to the next level. I think I'll sign that. Thank you very much. Buddy, if you sign this document, Rich will vote for your amendment in Congress, but the Brazilian president will be totally offended. Is this your final decision? Yes. Buddy, Rich Buckwalter called happy as a cat. Invited us to a dinner party. I declined, of course. It's better not to advertise our arrangement with him. But the others can go and relax. Old Rich asked me to tell you that you're a real fighter for justice, and he'll be glad to support you in Congress. Almeida is furious, of course, but who cares now? You can't hold on to the presidency, and we already have a good start with the new government. Want to have a drink to celebrate our success? Wait, is that the last person that we needed? Joanna Rizzuto says, hackers attacked the accounts of the Australian Prime Minister's charity fund, the Warm Touch Foundation. Millions of dollars were transferred to other charities across the world. Wonder if we got any. PM Helen Nguyen has promised to deal with the financial terrorists. Berta Glover says the East Coast heat wave is breaking and water is returning to riverbeds and fountains. But for how long? Will this fall bring an even more bitter harvest for America? And our buddy Antonio says, the enemies of democracy will fall. That is the pledge of Antonio Estaba, big number 1, right after America's top number 1. Sophie says, Mr. President, when I leave my lunch in the refrigerator, I expect to eat it myself, but some creep has his eye on my signature tuna sandwiches. He takes one, then bites into another. I swear I can tell by the trail of crumbs who it is. Oh, I still need one more. Okay, we got to get past that line. Sir, another drinking problem. Don't expect me at work. I hope you'll help me out here. Alcoholism is a serious disease. Ah, it's check-in time on the competition. Tony, I've been waiting for days for you to come and admit defeat, but I don't think you have the guts. That's why I had to come catch you. What do you mean defeat? I took pity on you and we got a 4-4 tie. You can consider that a favor. What do you mean 4-4? I ended up with 5 candidates. I won. 5? What are you talking about? Both of us came out ahead, but we only ended up finding 4 people each. Or wait, are you counting the idea of sending someone from our team? Yes, that counted. What's wrong with that? We didn't stipulate any limits on the candidate we were looking for should be. But we didn't nominate in the end, so how can you even give yourself credit for that? Buddy, you be the judge. Did it tie or did Ellie win? Ellie won, no matter how you look at it without... Ellie won, no matter how you look at it. Without her, we wouldn't have had the idea to nominate someone from the team. But we didn't do that. Well, since you think so, I guess I have no choice but to admit defeat. Your bet on Ellie worked out. Congratulations. I lost, Ellie. I won't get involved in your business anymore. You can do things however you want. Thank you, Tony. I'm glad you had the courage to admit defeat. It's worth it, really. All right, darling. It's up to you now. The election's in 2 months. Let's cross our fingers and hope 6 of them make it into Congress. Whoa. So wait, did we pass the threshold? And they have to make it into Congress too? I'm confused. Honey, we just received a whole $1 million transfer. I understand the account is charitable and any American with a big heart can donate, but usually people with big hearts don't have such big wallets. And we don't even know the name of this fabulous do-gooder. The donor signed with the nickname Grandpa and left a short message for justice. That's it, no other clues. To be honest, such unexpected generosity stresses me out more than it cheers me up. We need to figure out if we're being dragged into something dangerous before it's too late to turn around. Helen Nguyen, the Prime Minister of Australia, says, Mr. President, you may have heard a rumor that I've become a little poorer. In turn, I've heard a rumor that you've become a little richer. It seems we have something to discuss. Uh-oh. Hey, buddy! Smart of you not to sign this anti-sanction document, which the Germans and Russians have bungled for you. In my gut, I know it's no good. Let it lay off and gather dust on your table. Congratulations, honey. We found 6 candidates. Yes, okay, we did do it. We found the 6 candidates we need for the Congress to support our amendment, but this doesn't mean we should relax. If there's an opportunity to lure someone else to our side, I'd use it. The more people we have in Congress, the more trade space we have. Besides, you know how fickle the elections can be. Still, now I'm almost 100% sure that the victory shall be ours. Australian Million, return the cell phone. Protect nature and regulate video games. Where do we want to start? I guess Australian Million? Oh, the other thing I can do is this. The assets, I totally forgot about this. Oil rig in Abqaiq. I don't know how to pronounce that either. This oil rig is called the Dark Horse, is filled with oil from a well in Abqaiq, Saudi Arabia. It was purchased with money from a liquidated trust fund and has been like currency from hand to hand among the Al Saud royal family. It would be easy to find a wealthy buyer for such a valuable rig. Darling, you were invited to visit Saudi Arabia, and that means we have a chance to return the oil rig Kadir pocketed after your mutual business had concluded. Please remember, you'll be talking to the King of Saudi Arabia on his home turf. Kadir is now a crown prince and the defense minister, so you can't simply accuse him of stealing the money you invested into the rig construction. That money was not declared, if memory serves me right. Think of it as unsuccessfully investing in an unstable oil market. You may be able to find a way to bring Kadir to heel someday, but right now your task is to impress his royal brother. Black gold. Oh, we need 90% approval rating. Well, we're pretty close to that. Let's take a look at Australian Million. I still don't have anyone that I can use to intimidate the candidate. But I guess we don't really need to anymore, so we could just try something out. See if it works. Find the Canadian Prime Minister's cell phone in the sex party mansion? Let's go Australian Million first. We'll get to that. That sounds like one of those really bizarre fun ones. Mr. President, can you describe how you felt when you received $1 million for nothing? I'll tell you what it felt like to lose $1 million for nothing. I don't think of it as money. I didn't feel anything. It's the charity's money. Oh, Mr. President, let's not pretend we're using these accounts for what they were intended. You just haven't been caught yet. I've been a little less lucky. The whole ugly tale was hushed up, of course. But we all use those accounts the same way. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't handle my foundation's money. So you'll be open about it if someone finds anything suspicious in the foundation's records? Like your being with me? In the meantime, please enjoy all your good fortune, and I'll pretend to believe you, and I'll get to the point. The little shit who caused all this mess knew what he was doing. He didn't learn much. All we know is where the money ended up. In your charity, among others. I'm very sorry for your loss. That's very kind. Your condolences are more valuable than any money, and really, I can't accept them. How about something simpler? A little favor, perhaps? Unfortunately, my men haven't made much progress on this case. The investigation stalled when we learned that the thief acted alone. I'll give you all the information we have in case your American specialists have any ideas. The way I see it, it's my financial security, but it's both our reputations at stake. And just think, if we catch that bastard, we'll get the information on accounts all over the world. I don't have to tell you what a treasure that would be. Consider it an internationally coordinated investigation, but a secret one between just you and me. I'll try, but I can't promise anything. I recommend you think about all those zeros. Perhaps I should say advantages. Help me, and don't be such a bludger. I'll send you all the information I've got. I just realized I should probably be doing some kind of Australian accent, but I'm not very good at accents, as you guys can tell. Thank you for stopping by. Identify Robin Hood. Now, this is something that I think we can do because we have like 1 million hackers on our team. Mr. President, a trail of tuna sandwich crumbs led me to Clint's office. He denies everything, but you can't fool me that easily. Ellie, darling. I'll admit I use foul language sometimes, but the way people have been talking about her recently, I wouldn't like to repeat any of it. But parents should cover their kids' ears when they walk into the White House. Oh, okay. Around the White House. My psychologist, Martha, told me about something called coprolalia. It's a disease or disorder or whatever where you can't stop swearing. If it really is a disease, that means it can be cured, right? The whole team should be sent to have a session with Martha, honey. I bet she'll wash their mouths out with soap. Let's do it. Prince Robert, the heir apparent to the British throne. When I was a lad, I used to dream of going to Disneyland, sir. And like any British prince, I never ended up making it there. I just heard that a charity event is going to be held at Disneyland in honor of the new show, Just Romance on Chick Shock. Alas, I shall never be able to explain to Mummy, my wife, or my country why a prince should wish to abandon matters of state to go to Disneyland. You're my only hope. I don't suppose you could invite me to some manner of works visit, eh? Sure. Ah! Your hospitality knows no bounds, sir. Needless to say, that's a typo. Needless to say, I have no intention of revealing the details of my visit to the press. But I shall most certainly tell them that you helped me fulfill a childhood dream, yes. So I need 10%. I do have this, which would raise our approval by 4.7. But we'll gradually work our way up there, right? Okay. Should I try to intimidate the candidate? Or maybe I don't care. But if I do, I could get another. Let's. It's not gonna work just like last time. I'm gonna pass on that. Return the cell phone. Edward Durant, Prime Minister Canada. Mr. President, this is going to be awkward. Anyway, last night, me and Mr. Estaba went to a special party. Everything was top-notch. Tony wasn't lying when he said Texas girls are natural-born riders. Okay, Prime Minister of Canada. It was probably during the wild rodeo that I lost my cell phone. Just so you know, it contains all of my life. From my wife's number, sorry, to the notes on the development of Canada up to 2030. Tony said there's no point in going to Agibula, the party hostess. She'll be delighted to learn that a guest left her some blackmail material. He suggested I come to you instead. He said you can find a way out of this if anyone can. Maybe send in a girl undercover to the next party? You can find and retrieve my phone. As far as I understand, it's uninvited men aren't welcome at these events. Mr. President, I promise I'll add your number to favorites if you help me avoid an international scandal. Or just give you money. Well, we've got Sophie and Alta that we could send. Sophie is known though, right? So we'll go Alta. But Sophie is good at deception. Send a girl undercover to the next party. You can find out. Okay, let's try Sophie. This is sad, honey. You do things for people and they just don't appreciate it. Right in the middle of the session, Martha calls me up and starts yelling into the phone, crying like a baby, telling me she's leaving or being sent somewhere. It's probably a good thing. I couldn't make out where. Now I'll have to find a new psychologist. Martha isn't returning my calls anymore. What just happened? Did I lose a service? I don't know what that meant. Or maybe that was someone I could have hired? Oh well. I totally lost track of what I was doing. Oh, the cell phone thing, did that just... Oh yeah, we sent Sophie, so that's gonna happen next month, right? Okay, I was like, am I supposed to make a decision here?